Everybody just get some coffee and calm down. This is a very sad morning, that's for sure. Are you serious? Somebody killed Rob Reiner and his wife in their Brentwood home in California last night. And are you serious? The Brown University shooter is still on the loose. And are you serious? Doesn't anybody recognize the anti-Semitism that's going on around the world? Look at what happened in Australia. The death toll rises to 16. I'll tell you all about it in just a second. But first, I'm going to put a real quick shout out for thehealthyfat.com/Paul. Thehealthyfat.com/Paul. The number one worst fruit for your waistline. What is it? Are you turning healthy fruits highly unhealthy fruits? Are you turning them into that without even realizing it? Fruit can be one of the healthiest things you can put in your body, but the majority of Americans are guilty of making this single mistake that can counteract all the health benefits of fruit. Some fruits can help with occasional constipation, reducing the bloating, and even help burn calories. But others can wreak havoc on your digestive system and early levels. I came across this viral presentation, though, from a world-renowned heart surgeon, Dr. Stephen Gundry, who showcased 3 different fruits to stop eating today. I was shocked, really. I had no idea, but after finding it out, I've stopped eating those 3 fruits. It's helped in my weight loss of 62 pounds. And I'm going to put a link in for you right now. I want you to watch the link below. I'm going to watch the link below, thehealthyfat.com/Paul. That's thehealthyfat.com/Paul. You'll be glad that you did. Yes, you can still get your tickets for the webinar we just had. Yes, you can. Matter of fact, people are telling me, Paul, this is the best kept secret there is. Why didn't you tell us what Agent X said? Why didn't you tell us what Mike Around the World said? Why didn't you tell us what John, the AI guy, said? I didn't know David Wilkerson said that. All of that is on this webinar and a whole lot more. You can still get your tickets. Just go to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's paulbegleyprophecy.com. You'll be glad, guys. You'll be happy that you did, okay? All right, so Rob Reiner and his wife were killed last night in their home in Brentwood, California. This is shocking. You may remember him as Meathead in the Archie Bunker series way back in the day. Rob Reiner, but he's also involved. He was a producer and director, and he was actually extremely, really good at it. I mean, he really was. He starred and he directed some iconic films. But last night, Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, were found dead in their Los Angeles home, according to sources close to the Reiner family. The sources are saying the couple appeared to have died from stab wounds. So somebody went in there and killed these two. Los Angeles police officials are saying they responded to a report of 2 deceased at the Reiner Brentwood home, but did not identify them. And now there's a death investigation underway. We now know it's Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. Paramedics were called to the Reiner home about 3:30 in the afternoon yesterday, and we did not find out that it was Rob Reiner and his wife that were dead until late last night. Police Chief Alan Hamilton told reporters that the investigation will continue through the night. Okay? It will continue through the night. He did not confirm the identities of the victims, and the city coroner's office will release the information later. But we do know who they are, Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, who went into their home in Brentwood, California, and stabbed and killed both of them. I mean, this is wild, okay? And what's really weird is the police are not looking for a suspect. They're not out there scouring the neighborhood for some mad serial killer, which makes me think they have a pretty good idea how this happened and who did it. And it's probably either in the family or somebody very, very close. It's all in the family probably, but we're gonna try to find that out. Reiner was 78 years old. He was a longtime actor, director known for his films The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, which he was nominated for Academy Awards for Best Picture. He directed those 3 films. Also, Rob Reiner appeared in 4 episodes of Hulu's TV show The Bear, and recently in Spinal Tap 2. He's also, of course, you guys know him from his iconic role as Meathead with Archie Bunker and All in the Family. Tracy Reiner, Rob Reiner's adopted daughter from his marriage to ex-wife Penny Marshall, said she had just seen her father the day before for a family gathering. I am absolutely shocked, she said. I came from the greatest family ever. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. But Rob Reiner is dead. Now the question is, who in the world would want to kill him what in the world's going on? Now we do know he was a very vocal left-wing liberal, very vocal left-wing liberal. And, that's just well known. He was very, very active campaigning against President Trump. Reiner was a very well-known liberal, prominent Democrat activist in Hollywood. Very famous for his very aggressive political advocacy alongside his iconic directing career. Now, he consistently backed Democrat presidential candidates like Al Gore, John Kerry, Bill Clinton, and he even became a player in the Democratic Party. Reiner championed early childhood education, but he also was for marriage equality, civil rights, and some of these other left-wing initiatives like Proposition 8 in California. So he was very vocal critic of President Donald Trump, warning of autocratic threats, urging voters to protect democracy, viewing the political landscape as a fight against autocracy, not just typical partisanship. So, yeah. But, again, who in the world would want to kill him in his home and his wife? They really are acting like this was something either in the family or all in the family or somebody close to the family. So we're waiting to see. There's been no indication of what they're going to do with this, and we're waiting to find out. And the reason I bring this up, just to be quite honest, after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which certainly was politically motivated to try to stop him and his movement. You sometimes wonder what in the world could have happened to Rob Reiner. Did he fall out with some of his friends there in the Democrat Party, or did he fall out with some of his friends in Hollywood? You just don't know. Or was this a family affair? We don't know. Or is there a mad serial killer loose? We don't know. So there's a lot on the table here that we're waiting and we'll try to find out. I think this story is going to be a whole lot bigger, folks, than what you think, even though it's big enough. That's not the only issue, though. The Brown University shooter is still on the loose. What? He's still on the loose. The guy they had in custody, he's not the shooter. According to authorities, the person of interest was released. Brown University person of interest has been released from police custody. Providence Police Chief Oscar Perez spoke Sunday at a press conference and has confirmed it this morning. I want to make sure all of you understand that this was a very complex investigation, and it still is, said the police chief. So in a sense, we follow on the lead, and we follow on a specific lead. And when we're able to examine every single evidence that led us to that individual, and at that point, that's how investigations work. Investigations will tell us whether something's valid or not, whether something needs to be ruled out or not. It's not a mistake. It's just how investigations work. He said, our responsibility is to make sure we conduct a proper investigation. We're making sure that we lift every rock, that we investigate everything we need to investigate, because we're not in the business of putting people in jail who don't deserve to be there. And so at this point, we'll continue to follow on every lead that comes our way. So in other words, they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. Nobody else is in custody. No other pictures have been put out for the public. The shooter's not been identified. We have no pictures posted to the general public to say, does anybody seen this guy? Matter of fact, Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee said, our position stays the same. The safety of our people in the state is our top priority. McKee also shared that he and Smiley spoke to FBI Director Kash Patel on the phone prior to the press conference and said they'll continue to bring out the resources of the federal government for this case. Right now, it's about the safety of the people who live in the state of Rhode Island and the students of Brown University. But we're starting to find out some things, folks. We know that some of the victims were Jewish, and we know that we know one of the victims was the vice president of the Republican Party of Brown University. That doesn't mean this was politically motivated. That doesn't mean this was anti-Semitism. It just means we have to look at everything in this case. Hang on. Wow. I'm up and rolling before 9 o'clock even. That's good. I should be. So anyway, so we don't know. I think that this Brown shooting situation is going to run a whole lot deeper also. And I can't help it, but that's why I've got some skepticism now. Why they can't find the shooter. Why were all the doors unlocked? Why were all the cameras turned off? Why do we not even have a clue who it was? And then you start looking at who got shot, and it's very suspicious. And I bring that up because it just is. When you're dealing with what happened to Charlie Kirk and how a movement and all these chapters that were set up and the movement that was going on in the college campuses across America, you start to wonder, what are the odds that the vice president of the Republican, the young Republicans there in Brown ended up being killed? I have to ask that question because I promise you it's not being asked yet in the mainstream media, but maybe somebody will finally get there. Meanwhile, we have to ask more questions. What's going on in Australia? In the beach, 16 people are dead, and 30, it's either 35 or 39 are wounded. It's just terrible. Officials are still considering further tightening the country's strict gun laws, so that's where they go. They've already got real strict gun laws in Australia, okay, real strict in some parts of it. But they want to even tighten it more. After the terrorist attack against the Jewish people that were celebrating the Festival of Lights and, of course, the first night of Hanukkah. 16 people dead after the shooting during the Hanukkah event in Australia's famous Bondi Beach there in Sydney, Australia. More than 24 others remain hospitalized. Some of them are in critical condition. Police identified 2 suspects as the father and son, ages 50 and 24. Officers fatally shot the 50-year-old man, but the 24-year-old has suffered critical injuries but is still alive and is in the hospital. So we had a father-son team coming to kill the Jewish people celebrating Hanukkah. It's anti-Semitism. It don't go away. It's probably never going to go away. Okay. Again, the victims were all Jews. We're celebrating the Festival of Lights, first night of Hanukkah. And including some of the victims one was a Holocaust survivor, and another one was a 10-year-old boy, and another one was a rabbi, are all part of the victims. The Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, said that the government would consider further tightening Australia's already strict gun laws and eradicate anti-Semitism, a growing issue in the country. Now, the man who saved a lot more people, Hamed al-Hamed has been recognized as a hero for disarming one of the gunmen and was successfully undergone his first surgeries after he was then shot during the struggle. So, wow, the first thing the prime minister wants to do in Australia, tighten the gun laws. Instead of first thing you do, go after anti-Semitism. That's first. But he wants to utilize this situation to tighten the gun laws. And then, you know, anti-Semitism should be looked at. It's getting worse. It should be the other way around. You go right after the rhetoric of the anti-Semitism. This is going on around the globe. It has been, guys. Did we forget 6 million Jews were slaughtered during the Holocaust? What is going on that we can't figure this out? I'm going to tell you why we can't figure it out. It's because evil is lurking deep, deep, deep into the hearts and the crevices of the human existence. Evil, demonic evil against God's chosen people, because they're the people who brought Jesus Christ, Yeshua, the Son of the living God, into this world. He's the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Jesus was Jewish, by the way, for those of you who don't know. And this is why Satan has hated on God's chosen people who brought Christ to the world. Now, all of us who come through Christ are part of the body of Christ, whether we Jew or Greek, bond or free. We know that. We've read that in Paul's writings in Romans. But certainly, right now, the anti-Semitism, the hatred toward not only the Jews, but to the nation of Israel itself continues to go on, and this hatred, some of it is being propagated even within the church. About 10% of Christians are what's called replacement theology, and that theology, even though it's only about 10% of the 90% who know that Israel is part of God's big plan, not only to bring Christ to the world, but to help bring Christ back to the earth, because he's coming back to Jerusalem, by the way. He's coming back to the nation of Israel, to Jerusalem, to rule the world for 1,000 years from the throne of David. I mean, this is in the Bible, which is amazing to me that nobody preaches this when it's right there. It's right there. It's Old Testament and New Testament. I mean, but anyway, but the rhetoric continues, and it's really sad. Give your life to Jesus Christ, folks. Recognize the fact we're in the last days. Evil is lurking everywhere. Who killed Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle? Where is the Brown University shooter? And how come the Australian Prime Minister still can't get it through his thick head? It's not about the guns. It's about the hate. Saturday was silent, and surely it was through. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? And Friday's disappointment is Sunday's empty tomb. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? This is the sound of a dry bones rattling. Oh, he's left wing, the Prime Minister of Australia. This is the praise, make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Hanukkah is now. Stirring something new. You're not gonna run out of miracles anytime soon. Your resurrection power, it runs in my veins too. I believe there's another miracle here in this room. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Yes, this is Hanukkah. You can send in your Hanukkah offerings right now. Please believe God for a miracle in your life.
My God is able to save and deliver and heal and restore anything that He wants to. Just ask the man who was thrown on the bones of Elisha if there's anything that He can do. Just ask the stone that was rolled at the tomb in the garden what happens when God says to move. I feel Him moving it now. I feel Him doing it now. I feel Him doing it now. Do it now. Do it now. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Yeah, this is the praise, make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling.
Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Prophesy and say to them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up from your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. Then you shall know that I am the Lord, and I will put my spirit in you, and I will place you in your own land, and you shall live. I will place you in your own land. You shall live, 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 live.
This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Yeah, this is the praise, make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling.
Oh, that's right. Dry bones are going to live. Well, Israel's going to live on. That's Ezekiel 37. Israel is going to live on. The Jews are still here. You can't stop prophecy, but you do have to keep praying one for another. Christians are being slaughtered in Syria. Christians are being persecuted brutally in Nigeria. Christians have been persecuted throughout the entire Middle East, and they're being persecuted in Iran, China heavily, and also in North Korea. Jews and Christians are the targets. This is a spiritual battle. It's not a political battle. It's a spiritual battle. But the spiritual battle is played out on political stage. That's why I'm writing my brand new book, Trump versus the Beast. It's not that Trump is some kind of savior, but he represents the left. He represents against the left. He is the leader of the right, the right-wing conservative Christian and Jews, the Judeo-Christian values of America, which, of course, is being targeted now by the beast kingdom. As the beast is about to rise, everything is against what God is trying to establish. Get ready. Get ready. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and spiritual wickedness in high places. I'm telling you, right now, we're living in the last days. If you haven't read my book, Revelation 9:11, you really should. You can also get it on, it's also on audiobook. So if you want to just order it, go to Audibles or go over to Amazon and order it on audio. It's on audiobook and you can listen to it there or get a copy of it and order it from Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble or Books A Million or wherever you want to order it from. Or you can order it from me personally. Go to my website, order it. If you do, it's an autographed copy you'll get from me. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you right away, okay? I want you to have it. God bless. I will be back with more current world events and what's going on around the world. Excuse me for my throat being a little scratchy. But we truly are living in the end times. And I'm stunned right now because we don't know who killed Rob Reiner and his wife. As a matter of fact, everybody's been awful hush-hush about it. And then the other thing is we don't know who in the world is the Brown University shooter. We're just lost in the sauce on this one. And speaking of lost in the sauce, the Prime Minister of Australia, he wants to go straight after tightening the gun laws. And 50 people are being mowed down in the streets. And the reason they couldn't protect themselves is they couldn't have a gun. I'll be back with more on the coming apocalypse. Are you saved?